I'm gonna give you the best lift to make your life so much better. And we're gonna start right now. So why do we resistance train as athletes, as people trying to improve our general fitness? We're looking for specific types of adaptations. That might be myofibrillar hypertrophy. That might be hypertrophy inside of our joint capsule through tendons and ligaments, getting a little bit more swole. And we're also looking for sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, which I've achieved right now by doing over 20 different hammer curls and growing massive biceps. We also want to do endurance-based work if we're trying to improve the functionality of our heart. Maybe we're trying to improve our endurance for specific sports like football, wrestling, track and field, or just trying to improve our overall health. We can also do exercises that improve our mobility. Think about if we have really tight ankles, and even my back hip right now is really tight. We can do different movements to improve those positions and to feel a little bit more supple. These are all key pillars of performance, key pillars around fitness, and you'll even find these deep inside of our brand new app, Peak Strength. Click on the link down below, check it out. We also want to resistance train so that we can have better coordination for global movement. We have better global recruitment of muscles because that leads to longevity of life and a happy, healthy life. We also don't want to be the old dude sitting in front of the TV watching Lone Ranger for the last 30 years of their life as they gain a little bit more room on their belly where they can place that nice beer. We also want to do this for cognitive challenge. If we're doing exercises that are a little bit more complicated, we've got to think about recruitment. We have to think about our muscular actions. So what challenges are we looking for, and what movements can optimize athleticism as we age? We want to focus on higher speed movements. We want to focus on multi-joint movements. This is going to help with that cognitive challenge. We've got to think through, how are we going to move something rapidly? How are we going to hit those different positions? We want to have those positions be mobile. We want to be stable. This is something I learned tremendously just from Mobility Doc. Mobility Doc put out a challenge. You're going to achieve greater mobility just by doing this for 10 straight days. And that's exactly what you're going to see from using this exercise. If you do it 10 days in a row in your training, you're going to start to feel more explosive. You're going to start to feel better. You're going to start to feel more athletic. So one of the reasons why it helps when we're aging is that as we get older, we get a little bit slower. We lose that elasticity. And in the past, I've talked about how people tend to fall and then they'll break their hip. A lot of people think they break their hip and then they fall, but typically it's because they can't react quick enough. They can't absorb that energy at a high speed. And that's because we don't do athletic movements as we get older. So this movement not only carries over to the sports performance world, but also to general health and general fitness. It's fun. If you want to perform at your best, you have to fuel your body at your best. That's why we recommend recovery supplements from today's video sponsor, Earth-Fed Muscle. Earth-Fed Muscle has some of the cleanest supplements on the entire planet. Naturally sourced, high quality produced, and used by some of the most elite athletes in the entire world, tested regularly by USADA and WADA. Earth-Fed Muscle is gearing up for a huge Black Friday sale this weekend. You can get awesome free gifts with your orders, like this t-shirt, like this baseball hat, and even this sick and super comfortable hoodie. And if you use the code GSBEST, you can get 30% off of any order when you spend over $100. And you can cash in on these incredible gifts. If you want to perform your best this holiday season, make sure that you head over to earthfedmuscle.com on Black Friday weekend so you can pick up the best quality supplements on the planet. Now, let's get back to the absolute best exercise you've never done. Okay, so we are going to start this movement with ease, okay? We're gonna work through a very simple progression that even my almost 70-year-old mom could do. Sorry, Mom, you are almost 70. So we're here with Pan Am medalist, two-time world team member, Jake Horst. Jake is going to demonstrate the progressions that we use with the power snatch. Again, this movement's easy, it's fun, it's fast, it's high speed. It's gonna be something that you can do by the end of this video. So first, we've got our garage strength dowel rod. We wanna establish that grip. Fortunately for us with the dowel rod, we have the ring spot on the dowel rod cut in here so you know exactly where that grip needs to be if you've used a barbell. If you haven't used a barbell, what I recommend doing is putting the bar so it's exactly in line with your hip bones, okay? Right here with your hip bones. So if I have a closer grip, the bar is gonna be lower. If I move that out slowly, it's gonna raise the bar up, and that's gonna establish that position. And so this is gonna take us into learning this movement nice and easy. First, we wanna think about it as being an explosive movement with this dowel rod. We wanna look at it as doing something like a vertical jump. So we're gonna get a slight knee bend and the chest is gonna come forward, and we're gonna slowly just put that bar up overhead. Good, okay, now go below the knee. Now we want to think knees come back, now come through, make contact, up over, good. And now Jake just accidentally added in that little bit of a dip. The big thing here with a power snatch is I want to see explosive here and then drop. So we can go from a muscle snatch, okay, here, putting it up, and then dropping into that catch. So go back below the knee, yep, come up, pull, drop. Perfect, one more of these. It's like a muscle snatch into a drop. Boom, and then now a power snatch. So power snatch, we want to see right away, hip contact and drop. It's a little weird with the dowel rod for Jake because he power snatches almost 270 pounds. So again, let's show that. Pull. Perfect. Okay, so this is something you can do as a warm-up. If you're at home training or you're just working out, you want to learn something new. You want to challenge yourself. Start to learn this. Now, we did this with a dowel rod. The next step is we're gonna use a band to add a little bit of tension so you can get a little bit smarter. You can make your body a little bit more intelligent as you lead through these progressions. So this second key step to the progression is now we've got a band attached to the dowel rod, okay? So a little bit of resistance. So Jake's gonna show us with a flat-footed position. I would recommend just grabbing that band with your pinkies, yeah. And notice he's standing on the band. Don't raise your heels because it could come up and hit you in the butt. I also recommend having your pinky on that band just so you can control it a little bit. Okay, again, flat-footed position here, big, fast upper body, boom. So now you're learning how to rotate the shoulders. You're learning how to squeeze the scaps, bend that bar when you get to that top position, as well as hip extension. Feel your glutes coming through. One more with this. Boom, okay, perfect. Now we're gonna go into that next easy progression that you can do at home so that you can learn how to master this absolutely phenomenal exercise. Okay, so the next key part here is we're learning how to be more elastic. If we can think about people who age, they're really, really rigid, right? Older people are really rigid. We want to be elastic, okay? We wanna be snappier. And now if you're an athlete, a lot of athletes that tend to have a powerlifting background, sorry, I know you're triggered right now, powerlifters, they tend to be very similar. They're very, very stiff. We want to move heavy weight fast, and that's where we're gonna use a dumbbell snatch just to show how to be twitchy, how to be more elastic. So Jake is gonna demonstrate here. Have you seen in the Peak Strength app, this dude demonstrating a dumbbell snatch? If you haven't, click on the link down below and you can pick it up for 7 free days. Okay, Jake, show us that dumbbell snatch. Nice and easy. Good, give me 2 more. And notice there's a good change of direction. It's pull, drop, good shoulder stability. One more, boom. Okay, now back on the left side. Perfect, 2 more. So he's learning how to be elastic. He's learning how to be explosive. He already knows how to do that. He's got a 44-inch vertical and he's snatched double body weight. He's a total freak, but this is a great progression. So we did the dowel rod with a band. Then we led into that dumbbell snatch. Now we've got a pretty good comprehension here. We got a pretty good understanding. Our body's getting smarter. That next step is going to be using a light barbell. Okay, so now we're gonna head into a barbell, a lighter barbell. We have women's bars here at Garage Strength. We have a 15-kilo bar. If you don't have a women's bar, get a 10-kilo bar. Learn how to do this now with a barbell. It's going to help you be more explosive. It's gonna help you with your aging. It's gonna help you become a freak athlete. We're gonna use our ZKC barbell here. This was a bar actually used at the Tokyo Olympics. It's one of the absolute best barbells that you can use in the world of weightlifting, and I recommend it for anybody in the world of fitness to pick up a ZKC barbell. So Jake's gonna demonstrate now from below the knee, a nice, easy power snatch. Okay, go through the process. Good, hip contact. Now notice his arms are staying longer when he's making contact off the hip. After he makes contact, then his arms bend. So it's a complicated movement, but we're going nice and easy, nice and slow. The load is light. Hip extension. Okay, again, this is one of those key concepts in sports performance. We need to learn how to control our trunk, and we need to understand how to extend our hips with our glutes and our hamstrings, and also extend our knees with our quads. So that's why this movement is so freaking good. Again, one more here. Come up, boom. Okay, now, one of the other key factors I wanna share with you, if you looked at using something like a Tendo unit or a velocity-based tracker, the second fastest exercise, maybe the third behind the neck jerks, is going to be a power snatch. This movement teaches you how to be as fast as possible in a controlled environment. And that's what's gonna help you become a world-class athlete or just age properly. Okay, so now we're progressing to that men's bar. So we're gonna rehash this real quickly. Jake's gonna show us, go below the knee. Okay, go ahead. He's gonna extend those hips. So we're focusing on hip extension. Give me one more. Thoracic rotation in that upper back. Boom, and notice his hips getting back. A lot of people tend to leave those hips forward. Get those hips back, give me one more. Hips back to help with force absorption in the catch. Perfect. So what does the power snatch do? It's gonna help you with your cognitive learning. If you're a coach and you're teaching your athlete how to power snatch, you're gonna get a direct lesson on how they handle instruction. It's also gonna transfer really well to high speed movement. So if we're an athlete who struggles with that first step, or if think about a swimmer coming off the blocks, an offensive lineman with that first step coming off the line, this movement will help you with that first step, even sprinters coming out of the blocks. So it's really, really fun. It helps with mobility, and it's also a really easy way to learn how athletes handle different cues. Okay, so we're gonna go over this one more time, and I'm even gonna give you one little secret that I left out, one little bit of a nugget that I left out. So Jake's gonna show us from the floor. Easy, remember, it's not about the weight, it's about the movement, it's about the speed of that execution. Give me a double here. Notice, good shoulder mobility, okay? Watch his trunk. Boom, he's got good stability. Good dynamic trunk control as he handles that position. Give me one more. And there's one key factor here, okay? We're applying a lot of vertical force up. Boom. When he catches that, okay, you can drop that. If you look at when someone's on force plates, when they catch a power snatch or a full snatch, the vertical force going into that bar is off the charts. Okay, that's because of impulse. There's a lot of force being applied vertically in a very, very short period of time. This is just like when you fall. This is just like when you're in a sport and you're making contact with someone. You have to apply a lot of force in a short period of time. That vertical force on the catch is absolutely phenomenal for transfer of training across all realms. Some of my favorite rep schemes around power snatch are gonna be doing sets like 5 triples, 6 triples, 4 sets of 4. But this rep scheme is my all-time favorite. 10 sets of 1 on the minute. So you set a timer, hit that power snatch, rest 60 seconds and do that again. You're gonna start to get into a groove and ultimately hit a monster PR. So do this today to figure out and learn new mechanics for explosively controlled movement. And make sure you scale it nice and easy. Start with that wooden dowel rod, then get into some bands. Then you can slowly build into dumbbells, maybe a very light barbell, and then you can work into using that heavier barbell to try and increase that overall explosiveness with the power snatch. And once you start using that actual barbell, now you can finally increase and improve that 7th grade vertical jump that you've been dreading to show your friends. And this exercise is simple, it's easy, it's one of the best movements, I believe probably the best movement for any athlete to actually use inside of their programming. That's exactly why we use it here at Garage Strength with all of our elite level athletes. And it's one of the main exercises deep inside of our app, Peak Strength. So when you download Peak Strength, you'll get 7 free days of training. And inside, you're gonna be asked, what are your goals? What are your different objectives in training? And how can you become better? And then what we do is we personalize that program specifically to your needs. We've got rest periods. We have weights. We have entire programs of periodization to help you achieve your goals. If you want more information and more knowledge around training, make sure you check out our podcast, the Masters of Sport podcast, so you can get those brain gains rolling. Because remember, freaks, if you guys want to become champions, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace.